Happy July 1st, everybody. I hope that you're planning on having a wonderful month because I know that I am. I don't have a whole lot to do in July, and I think for me, the summer has always represented a time of relaxation, creativity, rejuvenation. I don't know how other people feel about that because I know people hate the intense heat of the summer, but for me, growing up, like we always had summer break. That was the time that got to spend the most time with family, and all that unstructured time. I mean, I can say that now because I'm an adult and I know what it was. I didn't have that vocabulary back then, but all that unstructured time gave me time to really figure out what I was interested in. So I am very excited about the summer, and with the start of July, that's what I'm about to start doing. And I wanted to get back to my roots in creativity and get some scrapbooking done with this layout. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. Right here you see me doing my title page. Now if you saw my short the other day, I kind of gave a little teaser as to what I was doing. And obviously, or not so obviously, my theme for July are sunglasses. I felt like that was a really great way to bring in July, especially with all this intense heat. And I feel like I've been squinting to go outside, and I normally don't have to squint ever. I just feel like my whole face, I feel the muscles in my face like getting stronger because of how much I have to squint to just block out the sun. I'm just like, where's some sunglasses? So that's what I'm doing now. Something else, like I've been trying to craft a little bit more, and I've been noticing that since I've been out of the game for a little while, some of my stuff has disappeared. Very much so, my stuff has disappeared. Now I found all my markers. I found them. I knew they were in the house somewhere. They popped themselves up. But now the problem is all my water brushes are gone. And I did not realize that until I started sitting down and coloring. So I had to figure out how I was going to do my watercoloring for my watercolor glasses because I had definitely intended on doing this. So what I did was I borrowed some of my baby's paintbrushes. I asked her if I could use them. She went ahead and gave them to me, and that's what I'm using, her paintbrushes. And I will say, I didn't think there was going to be that big of a difference between using a paintbrush with water and using a water brush. I feel like my water brush moves the ink a little bit better. And I'm thinking maybe I should have done like a wet on wet technique because that's why I used all these dark colors because I wanted those kind of like jewel tones. But maybe I should have done wet on wet, but I think everything wound up coming out about the way that I wanted it to. And then I also realized that a lot of times I will color a little bit of something and drag the color out. So maybe because I colored in more of the glasses this go around, I didn't let that happen. I'm not 100% sure, but like I said, it's a daily thing on this journey to watercoloring or being good at it. So I'll figure it out, but I'm learning. On this next page you see, this is my scrapbooking like kind of like title page, and I use some of my paper pads from Michael's to do this. I think this was the girls getaway. It was a hot buy paper pad from a couple of years ago. I haven't bought a new paper pad from Michael's in like a while, not since everything in there like got ridiculous, but I really like this paper pad because they had a lot of girls in there with their sunglasses, and it kept me from having to draw a bunch of different ones. So I realized that when I wrote this out, it was Sunglass Paradise, and I asked my husband to spell out paradise for me. So and he spelled it correctly. He spelled it correctly. I just did what I wanted to do. I really did what I wanted to do. And it just, this is sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. And that's what I'm going to be doing with this. I'm going to roll with the punches. I'm not going to try to correct it. The only person in my journal is me and y'all when I put it up here. So I'm realizing this is my July title page. So, and I didn't write July down. I was going to write it somewhere. I feel like I was going to write it up top somewhere, but then I decided to write it in the glasses. And again, always finding out something about my stash. This silver marker is not doing what it's supposed to do. It is not laying the ink down. And I thought maybe that's just how that pen was, but then I also have a gold Sharpie, and my gold Sharpie understood the assignment. So now I need to get some new water brush pens, and I need to get another silver Sharpie. So, But either way, I wrote July and the sunshades. And, there's just, in my mind's eye, there's like a row of sunshades. And, I got a pink pair, but you can see the green pair. Then it goes into the purple pair. And you can just see the word July written across it. Okay, so let's go over to my next page. This is my monthly calendar spread. I like to draw the thick, bold lines. I think this is my size 12 um, marker, or whatever those pens are. That's my size 12. And then I'm going to go on to the interior with just a size 5 and just mark out those lines. My monthly calendar is like pretty much the same every month, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I just like to decorate the rest of the page, and as you can see, I already drew out how I wanted to do my July. So I did that earlier. I guess I could have did like a short on that one, but I didn't think it was necessary. So I'm still filling this in. My days start on, my weeks start with Sunday. So I started with Sunday over there, and then have Monday through, Saturday. And now I'm going to work on my July. So this really thick lettering or whatnot, I'm not sure. I think I had seen it on Pinterest somewhere, and I was just like, oh, I really like this. But like, how am I going to do this? And it came out really simple. It was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. The biggest thing was just about planning it. And that's one thing that I normally don't do with my planners. I normally just like sit down and this is what I'm going to do as I'm doing it. And this go around, I really like the fact that I was like, oh, okay, let's plan this out and figure out what I want to do. Something else that I did was throw a little bit of the ink on my big acrylic over here and just did some watercoloring that way. I think it came out a lot smoother and the color looks a little bit better. I'm going to let this dry and then I'm going to draw on top of it. I have to get a little bit better about coloring or making sure the water stays inside the lines. So over here, I think the colors that I'm using this go around are green, pink, and purple. I think that was very reminiscent of the paper pad. So I'm going with that theme throughout the whole bullet journal, or at least the theme for this month. So writing in all the dates. I don't think I have any special occasions in July, so everything's just going to stay the same color. And now that I'm done with filling in my calendar, I'm just going to do a little bit of doodling around the side. So these are an imaginary pair of sunglasses that I thought I could draw. I thought it'd be simple enough. Just do some like puffy ones and give myself some of the little earpieces. And then, my theme, of course, like I wrote on the first page, is Sunglass Paradise. So what else goes with paradise? Pina coladas. Now I was going to do some more coconut drawing, and I might still do some more coconut drawing throughout the months and throughout the weeks, and throw in some coconuts and some pineapples because that was something I wanted to add some more, and I just didn't have time. Do you know it actually took me all the way from, I think I started this yesterday, and this whole set out took me all day yesterday to sketch out and all day today to record and all day. Yeah, I think, and I'm still taking out some time in the morning to do the voiceover. And I'm sitting here thinking like, I need to come up with a better plan on how to do this. I say that as I'm doing my bullet journal, my planning, but I think sometimes the creativity doesn't hit me until I'm sitting down. Like very compartmentalized. I can totally focus on a task when I'm doing that task, but it's hard for me to think about that task before I get to that task. Not all the time, but just with certain things, and especially when it comes to things that are more on the creative side, because I don't feel like I'm naturally creative, or I want to be, and it's something that I work on. But I feel like because I'm so in the weeds with doing things and tasking, like I don't get my mind isn't like really used to drifting off. And that's what I want it to be able to do so I can be more creative. My mind just needs to let go of being so rigid and regimented sometimes. So here I am. I think this is dried enough. And, when you saw the purple glasses, what happened was my phone died. So it died and I didn't realize that it had died. So I went to go let it charge. So that I let it charge for about an hour before I came back to this. So yes, my July dried, and I really went into filling in this July with no idea what I was going to do until I got to each letter and filled it in. So The first one I filled it in with flowers. The second one I filled it in with lines, and I thought kind of like fireworks. That was kind of my idea. Then the next one dots, and then the last one just diagonal lines. So let's go over to my meal planning page. One thing, I think I need to stop calling it meal planning, because I think most people do meal planning and they do each meal for the day. Now, all of us are out of the house for the day, so we eat wherever we are for that, for the day. I do a little bit more for the kids to think about what their meals are during the day, but most of the time I just do dinner. Like when it comes to what I'm doing for, my actual meal planning, I just think about what we do for dinner, because in the morning it's not really hard to think about what we're going to have. We always have the same thing, uh, grits, eggs, that's about it. Lunch is always the same thing, leftovers from the day before. So I always try to make sure that dinner is something new, because I mean, I'm the type of person where I can make a big pot of like pork and beans and I'll eat off of that for a week. But I also grew up kind of poor, and I'm not sure if that's something I want to pass down to the kids. I mean, it's not bad, but like it's not a fond memory for me. So if it's something that I have to sit over here and think about, then that's just not something I want to pass on to my kids. So I always try to make sure that we have something different. Now, that's not to say we don't have leftovers, because we definitely do, but I don't want anybody having to eat the same meal 4 or 5 times in a row. So I'm hoping that, I know there are 31 days in July. So, I'm gonna have to, chalk that last one up to the game, because I didn't make 31 boxes. Now I still have, I could have space for 31 boxes if I just put one across the top, but I'm not. Like I said, like, I don't think I don't want to set myself up to not do every single day, which is exactly what I've done. But at the same time, I mean, I just know me. If I wound up having to cross out a date on a day to correct the date for when I actually did do the meal planning, it is what it is. And I think what I'll do is, if I don't do the meal planning for a day, then I will watercolor something or put a sticker in that box just to give it some visual interest. Um, I don't really look back into my previous months, but apparently my kids do. I can't tell you how many times they've bought me my journal and be like, "Mommy, what's this?" I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm glad I'm an open book to y'all." Oh, literally an open book. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just drawing in all these boxes. There's not a whole lot that I could do different. I think if I wanted to really, really get into some extensive meal planning, then maybe this would take two-page spreads, so like maybe 4 pages, or I could do something with each week. Instead of having a monthly layout for it, I would just go for each weekly spread, do something. And I was doing that for a little while, but it came out to be about the same thing. I would either plan or I wouldn't, and I forget. Or, I would just do the meal planning and write it down in the kitchen. That's somewhere else where I might write that down. So it might not always make it here. So again, I think I'm cutting from that same paper pad. There were 3 paper pads that I had, and I think I cut out from all of them, but I think most of them came from the Girl Getaway. But I'll put them down in the description below. Now we're gonna go over to now we're gonna go over to a new layout for me. This is going to be my habit tracker page, which I've done habit trackers before. However, the big thing that I wanted to add was some exercise. I want to commit to just doing the easiest of things right now, which is just getting on this treadmill and walking. I don't care for how long. I'm not gonna put a timeline on it. The only thing I want to know is, what did I do? Did I walk? How many miles did I walk? And what was the highest heart rate that I got up to when I did that walk? That's it. That's all I want. I'm not trying to put a whole bunch of stuff on it, because I've noticed in the past that I'll start with some exercise and then don't really do it. So either way, that's what I want to start doing this month, and just keep doing it, because I need to think about my health, and I just need to think about some of the habits that I'm doing, and making sure that I'm modeling the behaviors and the habits that I want for the kids. So that is the biggest part. That is the biggest new part to this, because normally it's not something I track. My habit tracker might always, I think in the past, my habit tracker has been like part habit tracker, like, so the 3 you see on the side, and then part bill page. So that's been it. So now I'm just going to line this just to give it a little bit of visual interest. I was thinking I could find a lighter purple, but I like doing it with the green and just keeping with the greens that I have already, or keeping with the colors that I've already used for the month. So you tell me, how do you do your exercise tracking? Do you do exercise tracking? Like, it's something very new for me. So, like, give me any ideas. Like, give me any ideas that you have in the comments. Because, like, what is the most important part to track about the exercise, and what keeps you accountable to having to do it? And, you know, for a lot of you people who are really into fitness anyway, I'm pretty sure you don't have these problems. But for someone like me who, I mean, I guess I used to be active more when I was a kid. I guess everybody was. But just doing it as an adult, I have not been. So yeah, let's go ahead and go over to my first week spread for the month of July. So this week is week 27, which when you think there are only 52 weeks, it's like, halfway there, guys. Halfway. We're actually a little bit more than halfway, because 26 would have been 52. So yeah, we're just over the halfway mark. And doesn't that make you think about what you've accomplished this first half of the year? Because I know it makes me. So my layout for this week is going to be pretty simplistic. I'm just going to write down the days and what I have to do, and and then I have like a big space over here underneath Saturday. I was going to do another one and put notes, but I don't think I need that. I think I'm just going to decorate the bottom of the page and decorate the bottom of the page, and then decorate it with doodles throughout the month. Like, that's something else that I'm trying to not force myself to have to do, to figure out all the decorations that I want to do at the very beginning of the month and then let it be there. Like, you can decorate throughout the month whenever you have some time, and that's something that I've definitely been getting on my kids about, because it's the summer now. Everything doesn't have to be in a tablet. Everything doesn't have to be in an electronic. And who better to model that than me, by not always being on an electronic? So I'm trying to get on to trying to do more of my crafts, trying to do more things that just get you out of the space of having to be dependent upon some electronics for automatic satisfaction. And I think the kids are open to it. They see me doing it, they want to do it too. And as you can see from last month, they definitely did. So let's go ahead and do the flip through for the month. This is the title page, and just like the theme page, I guess, my monthly calendar. I'll probably fill this up as the month goes. My girl dinner page. I say girl dinner, but everybody's dinner. My improvements page and my tasking page. So anything that I have to do throughout the month. And my first weekly layout. So if you made it this far, I really appreciate you being here with me. I've made it to a milestone in my YouTube journey. I hit 100 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you. If you made it this far, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next month. Bye.